Thanks for staying with us, and you're welcome back to the morning show here on the Rice News. Before we go to the guests, let us take out a few minutes to listen to a former governor of Bayelsa State, Timipre Sylva.
His Excellency, let me ask you, you were quoted to have said that Bayelsa State owes you 1 tenure.
Yes.
Are you still planning on coming to the creek again?
I will not run for governorship of Bayelsa again. I have said it, that chapter of my life is closed. If I was to run for governor of Bayelsa State again, I would have presented myself in 2019. But at that time, I presented David Lyon, who won the election, and we lost at the Supreme Court. This time again, we will look for a very credible Bayelsa, and we will run under the party. But I can tell you, since you asked a categorical question, I'll also categorically answer you that that candidate will not be me.
Okay. Interesting. Let's now usher in our distinguished guest, businessman and a one-time leader of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, Stephen Ereboh. Good morning.
Good morning, my namesake. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being
my
here.
Namesake too.
Interesting.
All right, good to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
I'm sure, you saw the video that we played to the world. Is this about, let's take it from this point. Minister Timipre Sylva,
yes.
I think early last year, was categorical about the fact that he will not seek a second term, even though he's been out of being governor since 2012. But we are aware that David Lyon, who I'm sure that you are rooting for,
yes,
has picked his form,
yes,
to contest. He won the election 4 years ago. He was declared the governor-elect, but the Supreme Court stopped him. But now, Timipre Sylva has resigned from the cabinet of President Muhammadu Buhari, and people think that the reason why he has done that is to run to be governor. Are you worried that he is recanting on his words and he may run at the primaries against David Lyon?
Well, first and foremost, if I'll respond to that question, Nigerians got to know about his resignation just yesterday on Breaking News.
That's correct.
And you know too well that there's a procedure. There's a procedure to resignation in the Federal Executive Council.
Yes.
First and foremost, INEC give the guidelines, and you must resign 30 days.
At least 30 days
right.
before.
30 days
Yes.
before the primaries. And the party on its part said, yes, all aspirants
Yes.
must come clean before screening. Screening is part of the primary process. Now, as it were, his resignation, the purported resignation, had life just yesterday, 2 weeks after the screening of aspirants. 2 weeks after the screening of aspirants. So we'll leave that to the party, we'll leave that to the NWC of the party to take their decision on that. Now, we just watched our leader, our big brother, who on his own compulsion said that he's not running and that chapter of his life is closed.
Yeah.
So the question now will be, what has changed? In 2019, somebody contested, first time in the history of politics in Bayelsa State, an opposition candidate won landslide victory in person of David Lyon. But like you rightly pointed out, that the Supreme Court
Yes.
annulled that election, the victory. So what was the cause? Because the deputy governorship candidate had issues with his certificates and all of that. They stalled the victory process. Now, what we are asking now is, if our leader says he's looking for a credible candidate this time around, somebody still carries the grace and credibility. And as such, you should enjoy the right of first refusal. The right of first refusal. David Lyon has properly gone through the screening process for this exercise now. We'll be begging for answers now. The purported resignation, there are flaws in the procedure. There are flaws in the procedure. In the sense that yesterday, we had breaking news that he has resigned. You and I know that once upon a time, ministers who proposed to contest presidential election did the honors. They resigned before the screening process even. They went through it and they had a valedictory session in ESCO, thanking Mr. President for the opportunity to serve and all of that. And their colleagues wished them all the best to go on their new exploit. But in this particular case, we're exposed to a lot of things. We're exposed to a lot of things in the sense that the procedure, as it were, is faulty. He had gone for screening, as it were, giving provincial clearance. And 2 weeks after,
As screening closed formally.
formally, 2 weeks back, it's closed. Now, we're hearing for the first time in the public domain that he has resigned his appointment yesterday.
Yeah, but he hasn't declared that
He hasn't,
he's
I mean,
running.
yes, it hasn't,
He hasn't declared.
he hasn't declared that he's running.
You're assuming
No,
that
no,
he
no,
is
we're
running.
not assuming. If you allow me, I can show you on my phone. He's been given provincial clearance
To run
to run
by the party.
the party, by the party.
How did you get that information?
It's there in the public domain. It's there. If you want me, I'll show you. It's there. 6 of them picked the nomination form. All the 6 been cleared. All the 6 been cleared. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that David Leon has gone through the process clean and square. But if we want to pick holes in the purported resignation, which was given life yesterday, the breaking news, I watched it surprisingly too on Channel. And what is breaking news? What is breaking news?
As it's happening. What
Is a newly received information about an event that is occurring or developing. I don't know if it's, you understand what I'm
I
trying to
definitely
say?
understand. And I'm just talking about, the timeline of it. I mean, based off of the feedback that we're getting, in fact, he had sent in his resignation letter to President Muhammadu Buhari as almost a week ago, but it was just yesterday that this breaking news came in. And you've also spoken about the timing of it. We know that the primaries are happening on April 14th. Today is April 1st.
10th.
April 10th.
Sorry, April
10th of
10th.
April.
10th of
And
April.
there's no official statement
Still about
that
his
the
running.
primaries will hold on the 14th. I don't know if you get me. Officially, it's still there. That look, the primaries will hold on the 10th. Look at the timelines. If we want to critically look at it.
You sound like you do not have so much faith in the preparations by the party towards the primary.
Not really. Not really. I will not stand here or sit here and say that I don't have confidence.
Okay.
It's up to the party. It's up to the NWC to critically look at the process itself. Now, if guidelines are laid out for primaries, there should be a substantial compliance to the procedure. The breaking news that reveals that the Honorable Minister has resigned, whatever date the letter is carrying, got life yesterday.
Yeah, but that would not remove the fact that if indeed he resigned much earlier, that will be the date of his resignation. The
Which
day
date?
that the news broke will be immaterial.
No, we're not getting it. Purported resignation. We're not talking about somebody on the streets.
You don't have the letter that he sent to the president, do you?
No, it's there in the public domain.
Okay.
It's there in the public domain. I had a program on Friday with Ijoma Democracy Today. It was after that program. We had the breaking news yesterday. So I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, what happens? I mean, if you look at a situation like this, we do know that he has been governor before, and then he became, the Minister of Petroleum, and now he's resigning. So when you choose to resign from a cabinet appointment, which is sure, and then having to face an election, which is more unlikely what the results would be, I mean, what future does someone like this have, within APC?
Well, I will not sit and analyze that. The option of whatever informed that decision after the video we watched. rests on him. What we are trying to say here is, David Leon won an election, first time in the history of politics in Bayelsa, landslide. And if a party is prepared to go into contest, what is wrong in picking a candidate?
But Sylva too won his election in 2008.
2008,
Yes.
back in 2008. So what happened? What happened before he left the office? What happened?
I mean, within the
2012.
constitution,
Yes.
he is allowed to run for a second time.
No doubt. No doubt. Politics is all about strategy, if you get me.
Yeah.
What we are trying to say here, we're trying to highlight the procedural flaws. The procedure of a minister to resign out of cabinet, it's known. We expect that after today, the next point is to go into valedictory session and inform his colleagues, the world, that I've thrown in my towel to contest governorship.
I'm not so sure if that should be your concern, though. I think
It
what
should be.
what should be your concern should not be the procedure by which he has resigned, but the procedure by which he has been cleared by the party.
Fine, my brother Steve. If you must go for screening,
Yes.
you ought to have done the needful. And the needful is the procedure that I'm talking about now. The needful.
So are you sounding a note of warning that just like, what was his name again, Degi Ereboh, the deputy governor to David Leon,
Yes.
caused his downfall 4 years ago?
That's what
Are
I'm
you
saying.
saying that if the party allows a former governor, Timipre Sylva, to contest, peradventure, he wins the primaries and becomes there are legal orders that he may not be able to surmount if David Leon, for example, challenges his emergence?
Now, what I'm trying to say here is that in the case of peradventuring that is going to win, I will tell you in all confidence that David Lion will win.
You're sure of that?
David Lion will win. David Lion still enjoys the grace of Bayelsans. David Lion still has that touch to win in Bayelsa State.
But,
So that is the reason
Timipre
why.
Sylva is believed to be the godfather of Bayelsa politics now,
Let's face it.
given his position within APC
Let's face
and
it.
closeness to the
To
seat of
president.
power.
Let's face it. If you had watched the video closely,
Yes.
he said on his own. Cast your mind back. Lately, even Faleke had opportunity, but Faleke says, no,
Kogi.
I'm not going. Let somebody else go. What do you call that? Is that not leadership? What is the problem? What is wrong in featuring David Lion? Nobody has come up with any cogent reason whatsoever to say that David Lion is incredible or whatever.
There are a few people who think that David Leon may have his own issues.
What are the issues? Bring it to public domain.
There are some who say that some aspect of his past
Bring it to public domain.
were not very smooth. And some people think that even in terms of ideas and delivery and communication, that he may not be the best that the party should put forward.
No way. I beg to disagree. David Leon has no shady past. David Leon today is a successful businessman. And as a successful businessman, he's been communicating with international companies, IOCs that he deals business with.
What does he do?
Today, David Leon is a champion, a giant in the oil and gas industry. I make bold to say that. So if you think there's anything shady in his past, bring it to public domain for scrutiny.